What's up, guys? Welcome back and happy Friday. I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers, bringing you guys your daily hail forecast, sponsored as always by C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, American Contractor, and Atlas. Go ahead and check them out in the description to this video. So we're talking repeating risks. We've had back-to-back-to-back risks for pretty much the Front Range through parts of the southern and central plains. We're going to see that again today and into tomorrow. We've got day 1 and day 2 forecast risks coming up for you guys here. And then at the end of the show, we're going to be talking about next week, what we could see in terms of temperatures across the nation and in terms of rain, which is much needed for some, and for others, we've had a ton. So going to talk about all of that here coming up. But first, before we get into our forecast, here's what we saw yesterday. Got a scattered part of the nation that had some wind, but really through the Front Range and the plains. That's where most of the action was. Denver area saw a couple landspout tornadoes and then some severe hail that went through the area, but the real hail stayed to the east of Denver, Pueblo, I-25 area. So real big hail there, 4 inches through southeastern Colorado, and then some high winds that tracked into Oklahoma in the late night hours. Woke up to that here today in Oklahoma City. So we're kind of back to it. Similar to what we saw yesterday, we got this system that's starting to taper off as it moves into southeastern Oklahoma, and then just some scattered cloud cover and showers behind it, and then we could potentially see some more storms developing out there. For the northern plains, just got this guy moving into the Des Moines area with some light rain, as well as some cloud cover for you guys, and back behind that, we'll see more storm development in those clear, sunny skies. And then for the northeast, you guys could also get some severe weather along with the front end of this low pressure system that's been just chilling up in Canada. Already seeing some storms starting to turn on with that, and then got, again, just a very minor disturbance, but enough to push more storms out through the Central Plains and the Colorado Front Range today. Seeing 70s and 80s across the board for the nation and staying very muggy. We're seeing that here in our significant hail model. Seeing those values start to get a little brighter here into 4 p.m. when we'll see those storms initiating very large hail possible through a very similar corridor that we've been seeing for the past 48 hours this afternoon and evening, and that's going to taper off into tomorrow and then come back, and it's just the same old that we've been seeing through the Central Plains. For wind, we could get some high winds moving through Amarillo with a band that's expected to move through that area by around 7 p.m. Seeing some 50s or upwards through that region, the Texas-Oklahoma Panhandle. That'll drive off to the east and could potentially see some remnants, maybe some leftover 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts by around midnight as that tracks into Oklahoma City, and then should be quieter in terms of wind for the rest of the area overnight into tomorrow morning. So here's what that looks like here going forward. Got these storms starting to pop up here through the Panhandle areas as well as southeastern Colorado by around 5 p.m. Could potentially see a couple storms near the Denver area, but again, it's really been intensifying as it tracks off to the east and through the high plains area is really where these storms get rolling. Probably going to be the same situation into today. There we go with some potential large hail producers through southeastern Colorado. Could push as far back as potentially the Pueblo, Colorado Springs area, but really looking like the majority of it is going to stay out this way with some strong winds, again through Amarillo, Wichita potentially getting hit. There's going to be a ton of storm coverage across the region here into today through tonight, and then that all tracks southeastward once again, and we're back to it tomorrow. And then for the northern plains, that's going to be a lot more scattered. We're going to see this line start picking up through the Fargo, Grand Forks area by around 5 p.m. Central. Should sink to the south and then, potentially produce some quarters, maybe some gusty winds here or there into today through tonight. And then just very scattered storm coverage again across the region into the overnight hours. Then for the northeast, going to see some popcorn storms along that line. Moving off to the east, should taper off by around 12:30 Central, 1:30 Eastern, but a couple of those could also produce some severe winds here and there. So for our forecast for hail today, going to keep it to the plains, potential for quarters up north, and that large hail staying in southeastern Colorado, backing potentially all the way up to I-25 near Pueblo. And so once things form, they should track off to the east through tonight. So if you guys are in Cheyenne, Denver, probably a little too far north today, low-end chance for you guys to see severe hail, but you could get some quarters. Pueblo is where things should start up and then roll off to the east, producing that potentially baseball-sized hail through Colorado. And then along the Oklahoma and Kansas border, we could still see that large hail moving through. Dodge City and Wichita have the best chance of seeing that into today. Low end across the board for everybody else from Joplin all the way eastward into Amarillo. Then up into Pierre and Fargo, you guys again have just a chance to see maybe a quarter or $0.50 here or there with that line that's going to track southward. Should be pretty scattered for you. Then into wind, going to check in on the northern plains all the way into Mississippi Valley here. Things should start getting pretty windy once they move into Amarillo and into the Oklahoma-Kansas border area. That's where we have more of a linear storm mode, so better chance for you guys through Amarillo to Wichita to potentially see those high winds. Low end across the board for really everybody else all the way up northward into northern Minnesota here, as well as parts of the Northeast. If you guys are from Washington, D.C., all the way up into Maine, you could potentially see a gust up to 60 miles an hour or so with some of those storms, but that's going to be very few and far between. Then tornadoes should stay centered mostly on that area where we're seeing those really strong cells developing and then tracking off to the east. So if you guys are in any of this highlighted area, it's a low-end chance, should be very scattered into today and tonight, but there is a chance nonetheless that we could see some tornadic thunderstorms in this region for today's forecast. Then into tomorrow, going to be back to it. So part 2, or part whatever we're on, 16, I don't know. We're going to have these storms developing along the I-25 corridor, now north of Denver by around 5 p.m. Potential to see some large hail on those, but really again it's going to be southeastern Colorado once these cells get going. And now we've got a lot of coverage all the way from Colorado into Oklahoma with a chance to see, some severe hail as well as some gusty winds on any of those storms as they continue to track off to the south and east. So lots of rain for us here in the southern plains, lots of storms going on in Colorado, and now the Ohio Valley is going to be joining in on the fun into tomorrow. Very scattered storm coverage, but still enough instability through that area. You're a little bit closer to that low with all that forcing to potentially get us some severe hail through the region as well as some high winds through anywhere from Illinois into parts of Kentucky and Ohio. Could see effects from that as it continues to track off to the east. So watching that into tomorrow, here's your hail forecast. Really, we could see severe hail anywhere from Wyoming, again, all the way off into western or eastern Kentucky and central Ohio there, and then large hail expected in that same corridor that's been getting hit over and over for the past few days. So if you guys are anywhere from Casper all the way down into the Texas Panhandle, you got a chance to see that. Quarters to $0.50 most likely. And then, again, potential to see 2.5 inch hail on your Saturday through southeastern Colorado, through the Oklahoma Panhandle, and into possibly like the Woodward, Oklahoma area. Dodge City, you're in it. Oklahoma City, you guys are in it as well with those storms to potentially get you some severe hail as they track through. Then low end across the board, ping pong to golf ball sized stones through that central area there, but again, it's going to be very scattered once you're moving into the Ohio Valley with the presence overall of severe hail. But some of those stronger cells could get you, again, up to golf ball sized stones. So that's what we have for hail into tomorrow. For wind, going to be pretty much the same area from Wyoming all the way into the Ohio Valley here. If you're in Rapid City, Casper, all the way down into, let's say Dodge City, Kansas, got a low end chance for you. But really in that southern corridor of our risk area here, kind of similar to today, from Amarillo to Wichita to OKC, even now to Little Rock, you guys have a better chance to potentially see those severe winds passing through with any linear storms that move into your area. Then still scattered for the Ohio Valley, but anywhere from Nashville up into Indy, into Columbus could potentially see some gusts that kind of get rocking and rolling as they move through your area. So be on the lookout for that into tomorrow afternoon for the Ohio Valley. And then, tornadoes are more of a risk for the western part of that risk area, from really where we're seeing that really large hail. So eastern Colorado into the Oklahoma Panhandle, and stay tuned to that. So now just getting into our extended outlook here for the next week. So this is the 12th through the 16th. If you guys are really pretty much up north where you got impacts from that low pressure system that's been bringing all that rain, all that nice cold air, you should be seeing a good chance of being cooler than normal up through a lot of the upper Midwest, North Plains, and the Ohio Valley. But if you're really kind of out of reach from that low pressure, then you're out of luck too. And it should stay, you got a chance of being warmer than normal for this time of year into next week. So be on the lookout for that. And then same goes for precipitation. If you guys, again, have the chance to see that impacts from that low tracking through, you got a good chance of seeing more rain than average for this time of year, but staying pretty dry through the desert Southwest and South Texas. No surprise. It's that kind of time of year for that area, so I'm sure you guys are pretty used to it by now, but that's what we're watching into next week. It's been rainy for the past few days, so it's helped us out with those drought conditions a little bit. Hopefully we can see more of that. But if you guys want updates on your severe weather, you can follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And we're also on Threads now. We're threading, so follow us there. We're at Hail Trace on everything, so we're easy to find. You guys can hit See First on Facebook so you never miss a live video. Smash that subscribe button on everything else. And don't forget, we do live coverage as well on TikTok, so that's a good place to get those interactive updates and everything. And if you want to get in contact with us, go ahead and scan that QR code up above me. Click the link in our description if you want access to our products and seeing every severe storm that happens across the nation live. So that's pretty cool. And if you guys have questions about that, you can give us a call at 855-334-4245. Email us at info@hailtrace.com or check out hailtrace.com for more details. You guys have an excellent weekend. We'll be back on Monday to provide you guys with all of your scheduled weather updates. But for now, I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers. Thanks for watching.